Hello, this is Andrea Milky Shore from Milky's Fiber Arts, and today I want to show you a couple helpful hints about filling your bobbin up evenly and consistently. I guess you could say filling it up levelly. I had a friend who is a spinner ask me a question about this, and I thought it's a very valid question and something that I often have to kind of bite my tongue when I'm watching new spinners. I want to blurt this out to them, and sometimes even helpful information, if given at the wrong time, is not appreciated. But since somebody asked, that opened the door, and now I'll talk about it. One of the secrets to winding your bobbin evenly or levelly is to change hooks often, way more often than you want to, or than you might feel like. By moving it frequently from hook to hook, you build up the bobbin in small increments, and it stays more consistent. You don't end up creating these hills and valleys that you would if you spin in one spot on one hook for a long period of time. And there's several advantages to filling the bobbin up levelly. The first one being that when it comes time to ply or wind off the bobbin, the yarn is going to feed off much easier. It's not going to tangle and catch on itself and jerk around and just give you headaches as you're trying to wind it off. The second reason, which I don't see discussed very often, is that it keeps your yarn more consistent. When your bobbin fills up and it becomes, you have a thicker amount of yarn on that bobbin, that increases the lever that is affecting your draw-in. So as the bobbin becomes more full, it requires more draw-in so that your yarn will wind on. If you are allowing hills and valleys to build up on your bobbin, when you're at the top of the hill, you need more draw-on. You have to increase your tension on your brake band, or you have to increase your tension on your drive band. When you're down in the valley, now it's switched. Now that draw-on is going to be too strong. You have to loosen it back up. And up and down, you're going to be running into this, constantly having to adjust the take-up on your wheel if you're filling your bobbin in hills and valleys. By keeping your bobbin as level as possible, you are able to only switch the draw-in incrementally as the bobbin fills, instead of every time you switch from hook to hook. So that will allow you to spin a more consistent yarn. Now, to talk a little bit about this switching from hook to hook, I'm using a shacked matchless right here. One of the features I really appreciate about the shacked is that all my hooks are on the same side of the flyer, and they're staggered. This one is closest to the front of the bobbin. This one's a little bit farther away, so it kind of lines up with the center of that hook. And I will zigzag from hook, well, not zigzag, but I will move from hook to hook, from side to side, as I'm filling up the bobbin. So right now I'm on this hook. Once I've filled a little bit on this spot of the bobbin, I'll move to the last hook on that side of the arm. Some wheels have a sliding hook, which is really nice. That allows you to really incrementally fill up the bobbin. And some wheels only have hooks on one side. Some wheels, some of my older Ashford Traditionals, have hooks on both arms of the flyer, but they might be on one surface on this side. On the other side of the flyer, they'll be on the opposite side. And that was just to balance out the weight of the flyer. I would highly recommend, if you are into do-it-yourself, to remove those hooks from the opposite side, pre-drill some pilot holes for them on this side, and stagger them so that you can fill up your bobbin incrementally. If you have a flyer that has the hooks spaced quite a ways apart, some of the older Louette flyers, because they were made with art yarn spinning in mind, were spaced quite far apart. And if I'm spinning fine, I'm glad that now Louette has flyers with a sliding hook. But if you have the older style flyer, you might actually want to drill some pilot holes and insert some hooks in between each of the hooks so that you can fill up the bobbin more incrementally. So that is how to fill up a bobbin evenly, and that is why you want to fill up a bobbin evenly. I'm Andrea Milky with Milky's Fiber Arts, and thanks for watching this video.